Today, we're diving into the early life of one of India's most loved figures, Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. We're going to explore a bit of his autobiography, Wings of Fire, to really understand the experiences that shaped the incredible man he became.
I mean, we all know the titles, right? The Missile Man of India, a total pioneer in space and defense technology, and of course, the 11th President of India, a true statesman. The list of what he accomplished is just monumental.
But that's the real question, isn't it? How does that happen? How does a boy from a simple background on a small island town make that incredible journey to the presidency? Well, the answers you'll find are all rooted in the values and lessons of his very first days in Rameswaram.
So, let's go right back to the beginning. Kalam was born into a middle-class Tamil family on the island town of Rameswaram. And his childhood, it wasn't about luxury, not at all. But it was rich in things that are way, way more valuable.
Okay, check out this slide, because the contrast here is so interesting. His parents, Jainalabdin and Ashiyama, they didn't have much formal education or money, but what they did have was what Kalam calls an innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. Get this, his mother, Ashiyama, apparently fed more outsiders every single day than all the members of their own family combined. So yeah, they lived simply, but all the necessities, food, medicine, clothes, were always there. His childhood was, as he put it, both materially and emotionally secure.
And this really shows you the foundation he was building on. From his father, he got honesty and self-discipline, and from his mother, this deep faith in goodness and just a profound kindness. And these weren't just ideas they talked about, he saw them living these principles every single day.
All right, let's look at how the world outside his family started to shape him. It's 1939. Kalam is only 8 years old, and World War II breaks out. Now, Rameswaram was nowhere near the front lines, but the war, it created this really strange and sudden opportunity for him.
All of a sudden, there was this massive demand for tamarind seeds. So, what does he do? He starts collecting them and selling them to a little shop on Mosque Street. A whole day's work would earn him what he called the princely sum you see right here, 1 anna.
But his first real salary, that came from a different job. Because of the war, trains weren't stopping at Rameswaram station anymore, so newspaper bundles were literally thrown from the moving train onto the road. His cousin Samzuddin needed a helper to catch them, and young Kalam took the job. He said that 50 years later, he could still feel that surge of pride from earning his own money for the very first time.
Beyond the work, his childhood was just defined by these incredible friendships, and they paint a picture of a community that was, well, remarkably harmonious. This part of his story is absolutely crucial. So his 3 best friends were Ramanatha Sastry, Aravindan, and Shiva Prakashan. And here's the kicker, all of them from Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families. But despite their different religions, he says they never ever felt any difference between them. In fact, Ramanatha was the son of the high priest of the famous Rameswaram temple.
And the spirit of unity wasn't just among the kids. I mean, look at this. It's such a powerful example of real harmony. Every year, for the Sri Sita Rama's Kalyanam ceremony, it was Kalam's family that arranged the special boat to carry the idols from the temple to the marriage site. Think about that, a Muslim family playing a central role in a major Hindu festival. That was the Rameswaram he grew up in.
But that beautiful harmony wasn't unbreakable. A single incident would soon teach him a really painful, but also really powerful lesson about the world.
So picture this. He's in his 5th grade classroom at Rameswaram Elementary. Kalam always wore a little cap that marked him as a Muslim, and he was sitting right there in the front row, next to his best friend, Ramanatha Sastry.
Well, the new teacher, he couldn't stand the sight of it. He ordered Kalam to get up and move to the backbench. Kalam was just crushed. But the image that was seared into his memory was his friend, Ramanatha, looking completely downcast, weeping as Kalam walked to the back of the class.
So when the boys told their parents what happened, the reaction was immediate. Ramanatha's father, the high priest Lakshmana Shastri, called the teacher in, and in front of both boys, he spoke these powerful words. He told the teacher to either apologize or leave the school and the island. And the teacher? He didn't just regret it, he was genuinely changed by the priest's conviction.
Now, that wasn't his only run-in with prejudice, but another incident showed him how one person could actively fight back against it. And this time, it was his science teacher, Siva Subramanya Iyer.
So Siva Subramanya Iyer, he was an Orthodox Brahmin himself, but he was also a bit of a rebel, determined to break down these social barriers.
One day, he invited Kalam over for dinner. His wife, though, was horrified. The idea of a Muslim boy eating in her ritually pure kitchen, she just flat out refused to serve him.
So what the teacher did next, this is the whole story. He didn't get angry. He wasn't flustered. He just calmly served Kalam with his own hands and then sat down right beside him to eat his own meal. And as Kalam was leaving, he invited him back for dinner again the next week.
He told a nervous Kalam, "Once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted." And just look at the result. When Kalam came back the next week, his teacher's wife took him inside her kitchen and served him with her own hands. A quiet revolution right there in a single kitchen.
So you take all these experiences, the security he felt at home, the harmony of his friendships, and these really tough but important lessons about prejudice, and it all leads up to the moment he has to leave Rameswaram to continue his education.
When he asked his father for permission to go study in the district headquarters, his father gave him this incredible blessing. He used this amazing metaphor of the seagull, telling Kalam that he had to go away, that he had to fly alone to reach his potential.
His mother was worried, of course, hesitant about her son leaving, and to comfort her, his father quoted the poet Khalil Gibran. He explained that parents are just the vessel. You can give your children your love, but not your thoughts, because they have their own. It's just a breathtakingly wise perspective, isn't it?
And so, the boy from Rameswaram left home. He carried with him these core values of honesty, kindness, discipline, and this deep, genuine respect for all faiths. These weren't just lessons he learned. They were the wings that really allowed him to fly. It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? What are the lessons from our own childhoods that became our foundation?